ever feel like you're stuck in a loop of eat this, not that, when it comes to managing diabetes? We know exercise is important,
Yeah.
but fitting it in, figuring out what actually makes a difference. Or it can feel like a workout, just trying to figure it all out.
Yeah.
So today we're diving into the why and how of exercise for both prediabetes and type 2 diabetes.
Okay.
We'll be unpacking some brilliant insights from Dr. Neha Chawla. You might know her as the Strong Doc on Twitter, a strength and clinical nutrition coach who really gets how to make this stuff make sense. You ready to get moving?
Yeah.
Because this deep dive is all about understanding not just what types of exercise are beneficial,
Right.
but why.
Yeah.
So you can start making those empowered choices for your health.
Okay.
One of the first things that jumped out at me from Dr. Chawla's work is this emphasis on exercise being just as important as diet. It's not just me, right?
Right.
I feel like we hear so much about the food side of things, but both the American Diabetes Association, the ADA, and the World Health Organization, the WHO, put a huge emphasis on exercise.
Absolutely. And there's a fascinating reason for that. Exercise literally changes how your body uses insulin.
Okay.
Think of it like this. Insulin's job is to unlock your cells so glucose can get in and fuel things.
Right.
Exercise is like upgrading those locks so they work faster and smoother, making your muscles even better at using the insulin you already have.
Oh, so it's not necessarily about having more insulin, but about your body becoming more responsive to it.
Yes.
That's a really helpful way to think about it.
Exactly. And it goes even further than that.
Sure.
Exercise actually allows your muscles to use glucose directly, even without needing insulin.
Wow.
Almost like having a backup power source for your cells.
Wow. So it's a two-pronged attack on high blood sugar then. What else is going on in our bodies when we exercise that makes it so beneficial for diabetes management?
Well, on a deeper level, exercise tackles some of the root causes of insulin resistance.
Oh.
It can help reduce fat in your liver,
Right.
improve your cholesterol and triglycerides,
Okay.
what we call your blood lipid profile, and even fight chronic inflammation.
Okay.
You might not immediately connect inflammation with blood sugar,
Right.
but it plays a huge role.
That's fascinating. You're really selling me on the whole exercise thing here. But I will say, one of the things that always gets me is that even just thinking about squeezing in a workout can feel overwhelming.
I hear you.
Yeah.
But here's a little nugget of motivation.
Yeah, okay.
Even a single bout of exercise can improve your insulin sensitivity for up to 2 days.
Wow.
Imagine the impact of making this a regular thing.
Okay, that's a serious game changer. I always thought those benefits were something you built up over weeks, not hours. I'm definitely curious to hear more about building a sustainable routine.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're convinced exercise is key. But when we say exercise for diabetes management,
Right.
what exactly does that look like?
Yeah.
Are we talking about like signing up for a marathon here?
Definitely not.
Okay.
Unless that's your thing.
Okay.
And that's what's so great about Dr. Chawla's approach.
Okay.
She breaks down a really doable exercise plan.
Okay.
Even for busy people.
Okay.
No marathon training required.
Okay, that's a relief.
Yeah.
So what are these magical exercise types we should be focusing on?
Well, she starts with something I'm sure you're familiar with.
Okay.
Aerobic exercise.
Ah, good old cardio.
Yeah.
Does that mean I have to finally become a treadmill person?
Right.
Or is there hope for me yet?
It can be if you enjoy that.
Okay.
But think of it more broadly as any activity that gets your heart pumping.
Okay.
A brisk walk, swimming, dancing.
Right.
Even just cranking up the music and being more active while you're doing chores.
So it's about building movement into your life, not just these intense workout sessions. I like that.
Yeah.
But how does this tie back to managing blood sugar specifically?
Aerobic exercise is fantastic for improving your insulin sensitivity.
Right.
Which we already know is key.
Right.
But it's also giving you those heart-healthy benefits.
Good.
Lowering blood pressure, helping to manage weight,
Right.
and don't underestimate the mood boost.
That post-workout feeling is real.
Yes.
Speaking of real, how much are we talking here in terms of minutes per week?
Sure.
Because time is always the tricky part.
The sweet spot seems to be at least 150 minutes of moderate intensity aerobic exercise.
Okay.
Or 75 minutes of something more vigorous.
Okay.
Spread throughout the week.
Okay.
But the biggest factor is finding what you enjoy
Right.
and can actually stick with.
That's always the golden rule.
Yes.
Consistency over intensity. Right.
Right.
Okay. So that's aerobic exercise.
Okay.
What's next on Dr. Chawla's list?
This one's a personal favorite of mine.
Okay.
Resistance training.
All right, now we're talking about building some muscle.
Yeah.
But honestly, the thought of weights and gyms always intimidated me.
I hear you.
Yeah.
But you don't need a gym membership or fancy equipment to get the benefits.
Okay.
Resistance training is just about challenging your muscles.
Right.
It can be weights,
Mm-hmm.
resistance bands,
Okay.
or even just using your own body weight.
So things like squats, lunges,
Yeah.
push-ups, those all count.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And they're great places to start.
Right.
You can gradually increase the intensity by adding weight or using those resistance bands as you get stronger.
Right.
It's totally adaptable to your fitness level.
Okay. That's way less intimidating than I imagined.
Yeah.
But what makes this so important for managing diabetes specifically? Is it more than just building strength?
Right. When you build muscle,
Okay.
you're actually improving how your body uses and stores glucose over the long term.
Okay.
Muscle tissue is more metabolically active than fat tissue,
Yeah.
meaning it burns more calories even at rest.
So more muscle equals better blood sugar control over time.
Yeah.
I'm starting to see the connection here.
Exactly.
Right.
And research actually backs this up.
Okay.
Studies show that resistance training can significantly improve strength and reduce HbA1c levels in adults with type 2 diabetes.
Okay.
That's your average blood sugar over time
Right.
by about 0.5%.
Wow, that's huge.
Yeah.
It sounds like resistance training shouldn't just be for bodybuilders then,
Right.
but for anyone serious about managing their blood sugar long term.
Absolutely.
Okay. What else do we need to know?
Now we're getting into the high energy zone
Okay.
with HIIT, high intensity interval training.
Ooh, I've heard of this.
Yeah.
Isn't this about short bursts of intense exercise?
Right.
Like going all out for a bit, then taking a break?
You got it.
Okay.
HIIT is about pushing yourself for short periods.
Right.
Followed by those quick recovery periods.
Right.
It's a great option for busy people
Ugh.
because you can get a really effective workout in less time.
I can definitely see the appeal.
Yeah.
Especially if you're crunched for time.
Yeah.
But what makes it so effective for diabetes management?
Right.
Is it just about burning a lot of calories quickly?
It's more than that.
Okay.
Because you're working at such high intensity,
Yeah.
it maximizes both calorie burn and insulin sensitivity in a shorter time frame.
Okay.
Plus, you still get those great cardiovascular benefits of aerobic exercise.
Okay. I have to ask, how intense are we talking here? Because full disclosure, I wouldn't exactly call myself an athlete.
Right, and that's okay.
Okay.
The key is to start slow and gradually increase the intensity and duration as you get more comfortable.
Okay.
Dr. Chawla suggests starting with 1 or 2 sessions a week and seeing how your body responds.
Right.
And of course, always check in with your doctor before starting any new routine,
Of course.
especially if you're new to exercise or have any health concerns.
It's so easy to go gung-ho with something new and overdo it. But it sounds like with HIIT, you can really ease into it and see great benefits.
Yes, you can.
Okay, so we've got aerobic exercise,
Mm-hmm.
resistance training,
Mm-hmm.
and HIIT. Is there anything else, or have we covered it all?
Well, Dr. Chawla has one more trick up her sleeve,
Okay.
and it's a bit of a surprise.
Okay.
Awesome.
Neat.
Yeah.
As in organized and tidy.
Uh-huh, exactly.
I'm intrigued.
Yeah.
What does that have to do with exercise?
It stands for non-exercise activity thermogenesis.
Okay.
Essentially, it's about finding ways to move more throughout your day
Okay.
outside of your structured workouts.
So not necessarily hitting the gym,
Right.
but just incorporating more movement into your daily life.
Exactly.
Okay.
Think about all those little things you do throughout the day. Walking to your car,
Right.
taking the stairs instead of the elevator,
Right.
even just puttering around the house doing chores.
You know, I actually make a conscious effort to do things like park further away from the store, so I have to walk more. It's amazing how those little things add up.
We really do.
Yeah.
And those small movements, all that neat.
Yeah.
It burns calories.
Mhm.
It improves your insulin sensitivity.
Right.
It makes a bigger difference than you might think.
See, I knew I was onto something. I think we often get so focused on those formal workout sessions that we forget about the power of just moving more in general.
Yes.
It's like they say every little bit counts.
It really does.
Right.
Yeah.
But it feels like we've been talking about a lot of bits here.
It's true. We've covered a lot of ground.
Yeah.
But that's the beauty of it.
Okay.
It's not about being perfect at every single thing.
Right.
It's about finding what works for you
Yeah.
and your lifestyle.
So it's not about choosing one of these exercise types,
Right.
but more like weaving them all together.
Exactly.
Okay.
Think of it as building a well-rounded exercise routine, some heart-pumping cardio, strength training a couple of times a week, maybe sprinkling in some HIIT if that's your style.
Right.
And, of course, being mindful of your NEAT throughout the day.
Right.
And don't forget,
Yeah.
all of this works best when paired with those smart food choices.
Right. And that's where having an expert like Dr. Chawla,
Yes.
who really gets both the exercise and the nutrition side of things,
Yes.
is so helpful.
Absolutely.
It reminds us that it's all connected. A holistic approach is where the real magic happens.
Absolutely. It's about making sustainable changes
Right.
that support your overall health,
Right.
not just chasing quick fixes.
So for our listeners who are feeling fired up and ready to get moving after this deep dive,
Yeah.
what's the most important thing to keep in mind as they get started?
I'd say listen to your body.
Okay.
It's easy to get excited and want to do it all at once.
Right.
But starting slow and gradually increasing your activity level is key.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, if you have any concerns
Right.
or underlying health conditions,
Right.
definitely have a chat with your doctor
Of course.
before making any big changes.
Couldn't agree more. They can help you build a plan that's safe and effective for you.
Exactly.
This has been such an eye-opening deep dive. I know I'm definitely inspired to move more.
Me too.
Yeah.
And remember, it doesn't have to be complicated.
Right.
Every step counts.
So true. So as we wrap up, I want to leave our listeners with this. Think about your typical day.
Yeah.
From the moment you wake up to the moment you go to bed.
Right.
Where can you add in even a little bit more movement? Maybe taking the stairs instead of the elevator,
Yeah.
walking during your lunch break, or even just doing some stretches while you're watching TV.
Love it.
It all adds up.
It all adds up.
Well, that's it for today's deep dive into exercise and diabetes management.
Thank you.
Thanks for joining us, and happy moving.